Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
All right, guys, welcome in on a very happy Monday now. We are January 10th here, and the association in full effect tonight here. Some NBA games on the card we're going to break down for you, see if we can't start the week off on a profitable note, and we will do it with three of the finest gentlemen located at WagerTalk.com here with the prop god himself, Andy Lang, here on this Monday. Tony Mejia hanging out, as well as Mr. Finn. That is right, Mr. Tony Finn, still cashing tickets. How, I have no idea, but he is, and that is fantastic. So, Andy, happy Monday, my man. $9 Monday, in fact, which means best bets, $9 over at WagerTalk.com. How was the weekend, and what do you got locked and loaded tonight for us?
Weekend was fun. 3-1 in NFL, so not a big card, but any 3-1 in the NFL is really good. And we have a 5% play up at WagerTalk.com right now. So when the stars align, it's always good when you have a $9 Monday play that checks all the boxes and makes it a 5% play. So feel great about that. We're plus 56 units the last 6 weeks in the NBA, and we're 16-6 on the NBA best bets. So encourage everyone to go get that play. Looking forward to a profitable Monday.
All right, good stuff there. Love it. How about it, Mejia, my man? Happy Monday, $9 best bets over at WagerTalk.com. What do you got lined up for us here tonight?
Well, we've got a national championship 4% play up for the $9, and I think I will add who I like in that game, and also maybe a player prop or two. I hated Week 18's NFL Sunday. It's not my friend, but we will put that in the past. And as far as NBA goes, I think that little scroller on the bottom still says I'm doing well in the league, even though last week featured multiple bad beats. And then I had to watch one of the worst ones being that Knicks Celtics game. And then I had to watch Boston hold the Knicks to 75 points on Saturday. So never fails, but always fun. And we'll continue on with a very busy Monday in the league. The final Monday before next week's Monday Martin Luther King card, which I believe starts at noon.
Yeah, it should be a loaded card there. And as you see, guys, on the scroll on the bottom, Andy Lang, Tony Mejia continuing to roll into profits in the NBA, as is Tony Finn here. And Tony, on this $9 Monday, man, what do you got? What are you looking at in the association tonight, or on the card in general?
Like Andy, I too have a big ticket. I got a 5% play in the association, a late tip play that I like. I like it a lot, and probably like it too much. So when you like it as much as I like this one, you're supposed to kind of take a step backwards and say, what's wrong? So I got 2 NBA plays, 2 college basketball plays, and a play on both the side and total of the national championship game with Georgia and Alabama. And like Andy said, or like everyone said, I have a couple player props from the hard court and from the gridiron tonight. So it'll be a fun Monday, right? It's a fun Monday. We have no Monday Night Football other than college, but we'll live with that.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Let's dive in right off the bat here with our contrarian play of the day on this Monday. And let's take a look here. There was a couple of interesting spots to go, but knowing Andy's on this panel, why don't we go with the Indiana Pacers getting 6.5 tonight here, visiting the Boston Celtics. I do believe Brogdon back on the court here, possibly for Indiana tonight. It opened up 5.5. It has since been pushed up to 6.5. Interesting enough, they've actually been very profitable to back as of late, I believe, 4-1 against the number here as of late here. So let's start with Andy Lang. Talk to us, Andy. Your Indiana Pacers willing to back the contrarian gods tonight?
The contrarian gods are so good. They're such good people or beings to embrace a team like the Indiana Pacers and to give their love and support to a team that was able to beat the best Utah Jazz with Sabonis being the only player with any talent remotely close to being on the roster. No, actually, there is a play that I kind of like in this game. And it's the Pacers over 102.5 team total. They're not very good, but they are scoring points. They've scored 104 or more in 6 out of 7 games. They've scored 113 and 121 their last 2 games. If Brogdon plays, that's going to help. And I just think the books have gotten this too low. They've been in high-scoring games. They're not playing any defense, but they're doing okay on offense. I think the books set this one just a little bit too low against Boston. They've got ways that they can score. So I do like the Pacers over 102.5 team total. As far as my favorite player prop, boy, poor Al Horford. We got to go under his 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. His stats have really, really fallen off recently. He's gone under this number in 3 straight. Last game, the books had his points, rebounds, and assist number at 22.5. He was so bad they lowered it to 18.5, a four stat lower in the number. And I still think it's too high. Tatum and Brown, no secret. They're getting most of the scoring. Robert Williams is inside. He's eating up points and rebounds. Sabonis and Turner are going to go tonight. They're more athletic than him. It's just a tough matchup for him. He's not getting shots. Last game, he only played about 20 minutes, and he wasn't even in foul trouble. So now that the Celtics have got Tatum and Brown kind of rolling a little bit, you're just seeing stats that are going to go away from someone, and it seems to be going away from Al Horford. So my favorite prop is definitely Al Horford under.
All right, looking at Al Horford. He's always picking on Al Horford every chance he gets there. I don't blame him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tony Mejia, talk to me here. What do you think? This number continues to climb. What do you think? 6.5? Will you take it with the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and pass on this game in terms of taking the Indiana Pacers just because definitely an upgrade to have Malcolm Brogdon back. No offense to Kiefer Sykes and Dwayne Washington, that dream backcourt that helped get that win over Utah the other night. But, Lance Stevenson has been an asset. There's no question. I saw Rick Carlisle mention that his attitude and his tenacity has been a game changer for a young Indiana team that really is figuring stuff out. I think he will be a positive influence on Chris Duarte. An older rookie, but a rookie nonetheless that really brings it and is now healthy again. And as far as Boston goes, they're really trying to get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the same page. You've got one night where Tatum can't miss, and yet Jaylen Brown is flailing around out there, and they lose to the Spurs and struggle against the Knicks. And then you have Brown coming with a triple-double where Jason Tatum struggles to score, and yet they hold New York to 49 points over the final 3 quarters and win 99-75 in a no-sweat matchup. So, again, I think we're going to see over the next week or so what this Boston team looks like with all the pieces back, with Josh Richardson, who wants to be more of a factor in the mix and shooting the ball actually decently, with Dennis Schroeder in the same capacity of coming back off of COVID and being a factor. So, I mean, from a roster standpoint, I think Boston should be further along than Indiana is if they're incorporating Malcolm Brogdon back in the mix. Still no Karis LeVert tonight. Still in a situation where, although Domantas Sabonis is thriving and being the catalyst for Rick Carlisle's team, I think in a perfect world, Rick Carlisle would like to see Sabonis in another uniform because the experiment between him and Miles Turner, even though it should be better than it is, has not yielded results, as Andy would know over the past couple of years. You would think that a really good offensive player and a really good defensive player would coexist better than they do. But I think just it's a matter of Turner not getting touches and wanting more so he can be immersed in the culture on both sides of the ball instead of just one. So we'll see what happens. TBD on Indiana, but no chance I want to take the points against Boston as they get healthier.
And I'm hearing the contrarian gods are saying. Up yours, Tony Mejia. How about it, Tony
Bro.
Finn? Talk to us here. Are you willing to back the contrarian gods and take those 6.5 points here for the overvalued Boston Celtics?
Here's the situation. I could be. I'm not right now. I need to know whether Brogdon is active or inactive. His presence, there's a big dichotomy there. When he's on the court, this defense is about 5 points better per 100 possessions. When he's not on the court, this team is worse defensively and actually a little bit better offensively, if you can buy that. And I'm not talking about just 100 or 200 possessions. I'm talking about 700 possessions throughout the year. And that's with Brogdon and LeVert off the floor. This Indiana team's they have been scoring like it's been suggested here. I mean, and there's problems with Boston, and that is this fourth quarter. This fourth quarter 100 their points in the fourth quarter is dismal. And if you got an over, you look pretty good in the third quarter, or you got a nice lead with Boston. You got to sweat the fourth. When you got to sweat the fourth quarter out with a big lead, it's just not something. It's just difficult to back, right? I need to know if Brogdon is starting. If Brogdon's off the floor, I can't play Indiana. If he's on the floor, I can take 6.5 points absolutely, especially with Boston's offensive woes.
He is listed as questionable as of the 4:30 report that just came out here, guys, along with Isaiah Jackson and Torrey Craig. We'll keep you posted if anything breaks there, but our contrarian gods, they're looking at taking that 6.5 against the Boston Celtics tonight and backing the Indiana Pacers. All right, let's move on to a featured matchup if we can. And what better? Boy, we just watched this, didn't we? What a game that was. 733 points. It was amazing here. No defense, but that was a fun game just a few short weeks ago. This time, it's in Charlotte with the Milwaukee Bucks laying a short number here. Although it is increased, I'm seeing threes now popping up in the marketplace. I am also seeing 234.5. That is down slightly from 235 here. So, Andy Lang, kick us off here with some props in a game that is at 235 points. Are you expecting overs, unders? How are you approaching it?
Yeah, it's easy to get tripped up on these games when two teams play each other so close because teams make adjustments. So if one guy does really, really good, the other team says, well, we're not going to let him do that again. And then you see a guy that had a huge total, and then next game he comes in under. So you got to be a little bit careful with these. Here's a guy nobody thought I would bring up on the show, Cody Martin. I'll go under 6.5 points on Cody Martin. You got a lot of shots and a lot of points when Charlotte was missing most of their players, but now everyone's back, and this is what we're seeing. These guys who played well when the rest of the team was out with COVID or injuries, and now they're getting pushed back to the bench. He's only getting a couple shots a game. He had a stretch where he scored 12 or more points in 6 out of 7 games. Then everyone came back. So now he scored 1, 6, 7, and 5, and 4 in his last 6 games. So that's his role. He was 1 for 2 from the field last game for 4 points. The under is plus money too in this one. So I get Cody Martin under 6.5 points plus money. And then I'm also going to take Bobby Portis over 9.5 rebounds. This is a great number at plus money. They give up the most rebounds by far to centers at 18.7 rebounds a game. He had 13 against Charlotte last time they played. So I think this number is way too low. The Bucks should dominate the boards once again. Portis will be a big part of that. 9.5 comes out way too low for me at plus money. It's a great value.
All right, good stuff there. The market continues to look towards Milwaukee here, although Charlotte, let's face it, they've covered the spread in both games here so far this year against the Bucks. They don't have an answer for Giannis. Not many teams do, but it should make a difference. Holiday not in. It does look like they might have Pat Connaughton back. He's listed as questionable at the 4:30 report. What do you do here, Mejia? You think it's just going to be the same old, same old?
No, I don't know. I mean, look, you mentioned that these two games have been tight, 127-125 in that first meeting, and then the other night the Hornets rose up and won 114-106. I think from the prop market standpoint, with no Holiday and no George Hill due to protocols, One thing that we can carry over from the other night is Chris Middleton looks like the de facto point guard in this unit, even though they give Giannis the ball, obviously to facilitate offense as well. But Middleton had 9 assists, so I haven't really looked yet to see what that number is that the prop market has put on Middleton's assists. But if it's anywhere in the 5.5, 6.5 range, I think you probably go north on that. The Bucks also give up more 3-pointers than almost anybody in the league. I think it's over 14 a game. I think it's second worst, just because teams are typically down against Milwaukee and firing up threes to try to get back in things. And obviously, with the volume that Charlotte utilizes on that side of the ball, I think the over on that, if they shoot the ball even decently, will probably lead to a higher scoring game and a more competitive game if they're knocking down shots. They won the other night with Gordon Hayward really struggling. Kelly Oubre has been playing really well. He had 9 3-pointers against Detroit the other night when they got to 140. I often say very few streakier players in the league than Kelly Oubre Jr., but when he's gone, he's really a factor that can elevate Charlotte to another level, especially when Hayward is struggling. They've got Miles Bridges back off of COVID. Same thing with PJ Washington. So a deep enough team to where I can buy them winning again at home over Milwaukee. So I might be inclined to take those points. But as I mentioned, I think my best bets are the over in Charlotte 3-pointers and over in Chris Middleton assists. I think we'll see a high-scoring game. I don't know if we'll get there to the number that it is at 235. But even if we're at 230, I think both the 3-pointers and Middleton assists get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a overtime game here, Tony Finn. I mean, my eye goes right to the total with these two teams, right? It's only you got to figure over until you see otherwise, or how do you approach this game tonight?
Well, I will say this. I agree with you. The last game, with a little low scoring, I think they totaled 220. I think it was 114. I can't remember, 114, 106 or something. And there was some issues. They did make some adjustments, as Mr. Lang suggested. At least Charlotte did. They can't make a ton of adjustments because they're such they're just a mold. They're a Jello mold team. They can't play defense. They don't play defense very well. They don't desire to play defense very much, but they do like to run. They do like to shoot, and they're a good shooting team, good 3-point shooting team. In this matchup, they just don't have an answer for Giannis. They have no answer for the Freak at all, which is pretty evident in the 2 games that he's played. They split the series, but Charlotte's covered those games 2-0. Giannis, I think, scored 85, 90 points in that area and shot 50% from the field, pretty good from 3-point land. They just don't have any answer for him. And the thing is with this, with no Drew, as long as Middleton and the Freak are on the floor together, they're better offensively than with Holiday. Holiday's their defensive guy up front. He takes on assignments nobody else wants. Nobody else can execute. You got to like the over here. I like Milwaukee. I think it's a buy low. I don't see Charlotte being able to stop them. And if it comes down to 3-point shooting, the Hornets are going to have to shoot really, really well to come out on top in this game. I like the over, and I like Milwaukee minus the short number. Absolutely.
All right. Likes it, liking the Bucks there, taking a look at them as a short favorite. 3 is the number on that one right now. All right. Speaking of overs, let's take a look at our overtime matchup here today. And it's an interesting one here because the total, it was up there earlier as the Brooklyn Nets traveling to the Portland Trailblazers now, 227 and a half, 228. Now I'm starting to see that come down a little bit, 226 and a half. And the big news, of course, if you guys have been following, Kyrie will be in this game. However, Norman Powell just came down in the COVID protocol, so no Lillard, no McCollum, no Norm Powell, no Nance. Good Lord, I have no idea who was playing for this Portland team tonight. And yet that total still remains up there. So, Andy, kick us off here. What do you do from a prop betting perspective tonight with this Nets-Portland game?
Well, you try and find a Trailblazer that's eligible to play tonight and then start looking up stats on him. That could be tough to do at this point. As long as Nurkic plays, I'm going to take him over his rebounds, 11.5 rebounds. The Nets give up over 14 rebounds to opposing centers. like you said, they're just running out of people. He's kind of the only guy left there to rebound the ball. He's been a monster in his last 4 games. He's had 12 against Atlanta, 13 against Miami, 12 against Cleveland, and then he had 16 against Sacramento. So I do like Nurkic over his rebounds. This other bet, this is kind of it's a little bit of an experiment, something I'm keeping my eye on, but I do like it. I'm going to play James Harden under his points, rebounds, and assists when they're on the road, when Kyrie is playing. Tonight, we get 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The last game that he played without Kyrie Irving in the lineup, he had 26, 12, and 7. That was an overtime game, but that's a total of 45 points, rebounds, and assists. Last game with Kyrie Irving in the lineup, he went for 18, 5, and 6. That's a total of 29 points, rebounds, and assists. Kyrie eats up a lot of stats. And I think we could get really, really tricky here when you take Harden over when they're at home and then take his under when they're on the road with Kyrie in the lineup. So I'm going to try this, and I so far so good. I played Harden. I was on his under in that first game. Kyrie came back. I'm going to be on it again. I think Kyrie eats up some numbers, and James Harden loses some. So under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists, my favorite prop in this one.
All right, good stuff there. Tony Mejia, it's an interesting number here to total. It seems to be coming down just a tick here, but what do you think? I mean, it is Portland, and Brooklyn barely got by the Spurs. So what do you think? You think they're just going to pile on tonight?
No, I don't. I mean, well, it's the third game in 4 nights for both teams. And what's the difference? So one of them is playing their third game in 4 nights at home, and the other one flew cross country after beating the Spurs yesterday afternoon in overtime. And we'll have Kyrie Irving for the spark plug in terms of fresh legs. But I mean, look, it's a Nets team that we know what we get in terms of KD and James Harden, and even Bruce Brown and Nick Claxton playing big minutes, and Patty Mills. But the rest of that, filling out the spots around the nucleus, all rookies. I mean, who made the big play yesterday? Cam Thomas in overtime. They're starting David Duke Jr. out of Providence. Kessler Edwards from Pepperdine is in that rotation. So is Day'Ron Sharp from North Carolina. So these are young kids playing around, 3 of the best players we've ever seen, and there were bound to be growing pains. There was a missed assignment to let Josh Primo send that game into overtime yesterday. No business going to OT at home against depleted San Antonio Spurs. I think from the standpoint of this particular game, no Norman Powell means more Tony Snell on the floor. CJ Ellaby, young kid in Ellaby's case. And as far as Snell and Ben McLemore, who joined that starting lineup, you've got vets who are out there looking to get more minutes under Chauncey Billups, and you do that by defending. So this to me looks like a defensive game above all else. I mentioned Snell. You got Robert Covington, another guy. You're going to play pick and roll with Yusuf Nurkic if you're Anthony Simons. So, and then you've got a tired Nets team that really is going to be counting on Kyrie Irving to kind of soup them up and pick them up a little bit. So for me, I think that the total is doing the right thing and coming down. I don't think it'll get there, and I would not be surprised if the Blazers stick around and give the Nets a game here, getting all those points at home. Again, third game in 4 nights, but all at home for them, whereas Brooklyn traveling cross country to face them. So give me the points and the under.
All right, taking the points, and he likes the under in this overtime matchup here. Tony, Finn, what do you think? Is the number just maybe a little too high given the situation for both these teams right now? You looking at an under?
No, I wouldn't look at an under, despite the fact that Lillard, McCollum, Nance not in the lineup, not going to be active, going to be sitting in, well, not even to get the game. But the deal is Brooklyn. Listen, Brooklyn's not been good defensively. If you look at their numbers, guys, it's they're allowing 116.2 points per 100 possessions. It's not going to get any better with Irving on the floor. It actually gets worse. The defense gets worse. They turn the ball a little too much. They give away a little more. They give away a lot more fast break points. Their transition defense isn't the best. And look what I know they played Sacramento last night, or last game, Portland, and it was last night. They took care of Sacramento, but that's another story too. It's another conversation we can have. Sacramento's looked at as a as a high-scoring team that doesn't want to play defense. They're not scoring very much. So it's hard to use that example. That said, guys, I would absolutely like to have Portland in the points tonight, and I would play the over, not the under.
All right, looking at the over. So a little interesting there across the lineup. You have Andy just trying to find a name that might actually be active in a prop bet from there for Portland, but we got a split on the total there between the two Tonys. So we will move on, of course, to see if maybe this Portland team makes somebody's dog list. Let's get it, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check out the dogs here tonight as the Detroit Pistons. They're still in the league. 11 points here. Pistons getting in a dog spot here, as are the Hornets getting 2, and the Spurs in Madison Square Garden, 6.5. We talked about the Pacers. We got the Sacramento Kings. That should be a shocker. We got the Houston Rockets getting 10 points. That's just unbelievable. How is it not 20? And we've got the Trailblazers plus 9.5 here. So, Andy, we'll start with you. Which one of these dogs would you make your own tonight?
Might as well be 20. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Spurs. This is all dependent on Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. You got to wait to see if they're playing. If they aren't playing, I like San Antonio a lot to win outright. I like the Knicks team total under. Last game, it was painfully obvious to see what the offensive situation was with New York without those two. I mean, they struggled to dribble, shoot, pass, scored 75 points. The bench played a combined 52 minutes and had 6 points. It was just really awful to watch. Julius Randle is just a shell of what he was last year at times. Even if they play, I think San Antonio can keep it close. But for me, I'm just going to wait and see if those two play. And if they don't, I like San Antonio, and I definitely like the Knicks team total. Right now, it's 109.5. Without Fournier and Kemba Walker, I don't see him getting anywhere near that number. So let's keep an eye on the injury report about an hour, half hour before the game, and that'll be my best, my dog for tonight.
Nerlens Noel, Fournier, and of course Walker still listed as questionable in the 4:30 report here, guys. How about it, Tony Mejia? Which one of these dogs would you make your own tonight?
Well, we just talked about them. The Portland Trailblazers are facing a Nets team that moves on after this little stop in Portland to where? Chicago, to face the Bulls in the battle of the East's best teams. Just maybe a little bit of looking ahead for Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and the boys, especially with Portland. It sounds like they're going to shelve Damian Lillard. So they want him to go see an abdomen specialist, and probably will miss the All-Star game and all that good stuff. So if anybody's wondering where Ja Morant's spot is going to come from in that loaded Western Conference, look no further than Dame Lillard. I don't think we'll see him on the floor for a while. CJ McCollum obviously still out, and yet you've seen Anthony Simons rise up. CJ Ellaby, guys that don't normally get to play will go out there to try and keep this game respectable. And considering that Brooklyn let a very young and undermanned Spurs team hang around at Barclays yesterday, I think they're primed to also get another tough game from the Blazers on the road. So give me the points. I don't think they'll win outright, but I'll take Portland plus 9 against the Brooklyn Nets. Go ahead and give me all of those.
All right, I'm seeing 10s now as the line continues to creep up there. Portland Trailblazers plus 10. Tony Finn, might you be looking at the Corpus Christi Rockets as a dog here tonight? Where are you going?
No, I already warned Robert. He can go ahead and break out the buzzer. I'm sorry. I'm not spending your guys' money on this team, and I'm certainly not. I actually like Brooklyn as well. I will be with I'll be with other Tony tonight. Norman Powell, yes, added the COVID list. Damian Lillard out. They're saying until January 23rd could be worse. Is that ab injury? It seems that things are pretty dark, dim, bleak in Portland, but yet they held Sacramento to 88 points last night, 103-88 win, and you might look at Brooklyn being, a a step up in quality? I just disagree. I mean, again, if you look at what Brooklyn has done against the number this year, they're 14 and 23 against the number, 38%. And their numbers, I mean, their MOV and their plus minus as far as the spread goes, not very good. Now, Portland, 14 and 25 against the number, even worse numbers. And the totals, they're about the middle range. They're not, because Portland doesn't have Loder McCullough, doesn't mean they can't score. They absolutely can score, especially when they're facing a defense that's giving up 117 points per possession. I like the points, and I like the over in this game, as we discussed in our last segment with the overtime.
All right. Good stuff there, guys. Now, when you put it all together here on this card tonight, trying to figure out exactly where these guys might be going with a best bet. So, 60 seconds on the clock. Just a quick reminder, it is $9 Monday here, guys, which means each one of them has their best bets up for just $9 right now over at WagerTalk.com. So, 60 seconds, Andy. Start us off here. What's the prop you got you most high on tonight?
A best bet is actually going to be an under. I like an under points. Just want to remind everybody, you got a 5% play up at WagerTalk.com. 3-1, last 4 5% plays. We don't do a whole lot of 5% plays at NBA, but 3-1, pretty good record. 16-6 on daily best bets. So really excited about this play. Write-up is up there, and as always, we'll attach some props to that play as well. So you get the best bet as well as the prop. And I'm going to go back to Lauri Markkanen under 13.5 points. This has been a really, really good one. Since Garland, Mobley, and Allen have returned, he's gone under in 5 out of 6 games. Cavs are going to have a big advantage tonight. Rashawn Holmes is still out, and the Kings have just been getting torched by bigs. So I'm going to look at the offense to feature Garland getting the ball inside to Allen and Mobley quite a bit. Markkanen will get a few shots, but his shot attempts have gone down in 4 straight games. Played 29 points against Golden State, only got 6 shot attempts. As long as this number stays at 13.5, I'll keep playing as under.
All right. Looking at the under from Andy. All right, talk to us here, Tony Mejia. 60 seconds on the clock. What do you got circled here tonight in the NBA?
Well, friendly reminder for everybody that it was 2021 the last time that the San Antonio Spurs played at home. They are in the midst of a 7-game road trip that ends tonight at Madison Square Garden on the heels of yesterday's overtime loss. And they still have 8 million people on the COVID list, none of which are coming off the list tonight. They've got Josh Primo, the hero of yesterday's game and youngest player in the NBA, by the way, in terms of sending that game into overtime, and Jock Landale out of St. Mary's, part of Australia, going in the questionable category with Derek White, Thad Young, Doug McDermott, Kevin Vassell, Trey Jones, and Keldon Johnson, all out due to COVID. I think that the Knicks will take advantage, whether Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier show up or not. I like Emmanuel quickly being in the starting lineup. And I will take the New York Knicks to handle business at home over the San Antonio Spurs laying those points.
Yep, love it. Good stuff there. All right, Tony Finn.
Yeah.
60 seconds, man. I'd say, what are you high on? But you'd probably go off on something else. So I'm just going to ask you what your best bet is here tonight, Tony Finn.
Let me look you on. No, I don't have anything Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go west. Let's go to the Cali Capital, Sacramento. And we have a Cleveland team. Both actually coming off games last night. They're on the second leg of a back-to-back. Cleveland lost at Golden State, a game that we should have probably been all over, thinking about the emotional return of Clay, et cetera, right? Low-scoring game. Everything worked out. I was on neither. The Cavaliers hang their hat on defense. They just do. And as Andy mentioned, with those 3 monsters, and I could go on, we only have 60 seconds. I'm probably going to get a buzzer anyway. But with the 3 monsters they have, with a I think the wingspan combined is right in around 27 feet or something between Mobley and Allen. And listen, people don't realize Sacramento scores over about 57% of their points in the paint. There's no scoring points in the paint. 11 games, the Kings have come under 102 points in 5 of the last 11. Under Cleveland and Sacramento tonight, the number's ridiculous, 219. In fact, double up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see that the what was it? The button got stuck there. So could you do me a favor? Just hit it one more time. Make sure it's not stuck. Could you just? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Very good.
I want Finn to do the math on the 27-foot.
Yeah.
Wingspan.
I made it up.
Yeah. Of course he did. He was waiting for the buzzer.
Come on.
He was waiting for the buzzer that got hurt there. Unbelievable. And what a difference a month makes, man. Cleveland being a favorite just about everywhere they go now. Crazy to think where we started and where we are right now. All right, guys, let's take a look here. Best bets recap. And we should let you know, too, by the way, since we first talked about our contrarian play being the Pacers, it was at 6.5, and I'm not sure what news came down between then and now, but it is steadily. It was 6.5. I watch it go to 7. It's now going to 7.5. The money line is now 330. So something's going on there. Pacers and Boston still like them as the contrarian spot even more now, though, getting the 7.5. It might have had something to do with Andy Lang throwing all sorts of accolades at them. And that might have forced people to rush to the window to go the other way. But Andy does like the Spurs tonight, 6.5. As his dog, he also likes marketing under 13.5 points for his best bet. And Tony Mejia, he's going to look at the Trailblazers getting double digits at home against the Brooklyn Nets, but he does like the Knicks laying 6.5 for a best bet, while Tony Finn, he agrees with his brother from a different mother there. He's going to go Trailblazers plus 10, and he's going to go Cavs Kings under 219.5 points there tonight. Again, the contrarian play, the Pacers, as that line continues to inch up towards Boston. Contrarians are looking the other way. They're Pacers 7.5. And you guys heard it. It is $9 Monday. Best bets, $9, including 5% best bets right now, locked and loaded for both Tony Finn, Andy Lang, Tony Mejia. Guys, head over to their pages now at WagerTalk.com. Grab those best bets, not only in the association, college hoops, and, of course, national championship here tonight. No better. It's going to be a fun Monday. Let's make it a profitable Monday, $9 Monday at Wager Talk. Take advantage of it today. And, of course, on behalf of Andy Lang, Tony Mejia, and Tony Finn, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner and come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll have an entire new panel with all sorts of new bets and places to go in the NBA. Until then, best of luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.